Welcome to Forever Exiled. I'm Justin, aka Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
Tyler is kind of back. It's better than a whisper.
Better than ever, Justin. Better than ever.
Yeah,
you know, it's funny. My voice was better yesterday than it is today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Way to go, Ty.
I got sick again.
You better not.
This is a different sick, though. It is.
You're
this
not
is a totally
sick,
different sick. Yeah. I'm like full of snot and everything. It's nasty.
Man, what the
Totally
heck?
different. So I've been like, obviously I've had no voice for the last couple of episodes. For almost 3 weeks, technically it wasn't like a whisper. Like I was talking normal, but nothing would come out. I wasn't like trying to save my voice because it hurt and it vibrated weird. And so I was whispering to save it. That's not what was happening. I was just normal and it was.
Yeah.
So it finally started coming back on Monday. We record on Fridays. Sunday, I was like, oh, maybe this is it. I can kind of feel something. Monday, it started coming back.
Yeah.
Yesterday, it was basically my normal voice almost. And it kept like, it was nice. Like I haven't been sick for a long time. I lost my voice because of laryngitis, but that was at the beginning, right? All that coughing and stuff of that 3-week period. So this past like week and a half, I haven't been sick. I just haven't had a voice. My throat was just, recovering from before. But then this week, I don't know what happened, but like on Wednesday, it's Friday today, on Wednesday, I start getting all like sniffly again.
The fix to the nasal cavity is just allowing so much more up there now.
Whatever it is. So anyway, but it's kind of awkward because I'm still doing like the post-surgery recovery process, like nasal rinses and stuff like that. So now that I'm like stuffed, now it's like even worse because I'm doing nasal rinses, but it's not working well because things are clogging. So it's like bugging my ears because the ear pressure's all wonky because I'm shoving water into my sinuses, it's getting blocked. It's good times, Jess. So anyway, yeah, I got sick again, but I'm good. I'm good, man. I can talk.
That
so
sucks. You sound better,
how are
though.
you, my friend?
Well, hold on. First off, big shout out to our patrons. Thanks so much for your support and for resubbing up this week. You guys help make the private league possible, so thank you so much. Patreon gets you access to After Dark. It's our podcast. After the podcast, we continue to talk about stuff and things, and it's a lot of fun. So thank you, patrons. Love your faces.
Agreed.
How's your week?
And you tell me.
My week was good. My son was down for a couple days, so we got to hang out with them. That was fun.
Awesome.
Went out a couple times, and then my other son had a production that he was a part of at the school, part of the tech crew. So that we went and saw that. It was really, really good, actually. They did a great job. So, and it was fun because he did a lot of 3D printing stuff for it. So, a number of his props were used, and he was quite proud of it. And then it was work, man. This week was really, really busy for work. So
yeah,
it is good. Good week overall. We're watching Reacher, so that's fun.
Is that any good?
Yeah, it is. It reminds me of like Punisher. So
right.
Yeah, it's we're on just about. I think we just started season 2. So
what are there 5 seasons? 2.
Well,
gotcha.
I think there's only 2 seasons. I don't know. That's all that's on Amazon. I didn't actually look, but. Yeah, otherwise it was a good week. I played some PoE, we'll talk about that, but nothing overly. It was just good. There's a lot of stuff going on, but a lot of it was work related. So
nice.
Cool. My kids are surviving through the no eat out January.
Oh yeah, your personal little family rule. And how's that going?
I mean, it's fine. We don't have Christina and I don't have a problem with it. Actually, our kids have actually been really good about it, but it's been yeah, it's been good. The food's been a lot better. So
I'm sure. Have you saved 5 digits worth of food or of money or 6 digits worth of money?
I don't know. I'm not really sure. I think on average we were probably in the $600 to $800 a month on eating out. So yeah, it's
that's a lot of lettuce.
It's a lot of lettuce. Yep. But it's it's been a good week overall. So how about you? Besides you being sick, how's your week been?
Good. Yeah, the kids are healthy. My wife's healthy. Everybody's good except for me. So it's been great. Yeah, nothing new. It's been fantastic. It's nice having the kids at school. Kids having some play dates this weekend. My son had his birthday party. Was that last weekend?
Yeah, yes, it was because I was talking to him about it.
Yeah. So my son turned 9, and so we had a birthday party at a bowling alley, and
nice.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was really good. We've had a really fun family week, and so
cool. It's good.
Yeah. Living the dream, man.
Are we actually going PoE in 5 minutes?
We might be, but I have some lawn questions for you.
Ugh, okay.
It's wintertime, Justin. How's your lawn?
My lawn sucks, man. I have to just ignore my lawn until the weather gets better so I can tear it up and fix it, just because of the stupid grubs and then the raccoons and crows. So it looks not great. But that's like every lawn right now around me. What about you as you cough and die?
Lawn's great. The snow's it's always weird when like the snow fades. Like my lawn's still slightly settling from when we had the perimeter drain, like the whole lawn dug up and the perimeter drain all settling. So now after this freezing weather that we just had, now we're back into like the 5-degree weather and always raining, which is fine. Like I like the weather, but the really cold weather, like it's really added a ton more bumps. Of the lawn's a lot more lumpy and there's a lot more angle to it. So if money comes up in the savings account, it'd be nice to level the lawn out.
It's a lot of work.
Oh, not me.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to pay someone to level the lawn out. Yes.
It's a lot of work.
Yes. So, but yeah, no, it's, I'm excited for spring. Like, that was a pretty late winter for us, like that week of snow that we had. So, I mean, February is February, but typically we get 1 or 2 dumps of snow and they're really short here. So, after that first dump of snow, you would think. So after that first dump of snow, I'm already thinking like, okay, just got to check on my plants, got to check on my garden. This is what I got to do. Like even though the ground's still frozen, I'm wanting to weed and do all this stuff. So I'm excited.
That's good.
Let the springtime come, man.
I agree.
Formula One, gardening, baseball. Hockey
Visa,
playoffs.
App Cash, Superstar, Red Bull.
Okay.
God, the
there
names
are
are
some
getting
terms,
ridiculous.
Right? There are some terms we're not allowed to say in public anymore, but that one's pretty bad.
It's so dumb.
But everybody's making fun of it, not just us. Like, how can a team actually be called the majority of a company?
It's weird to have sponsors as the name of a team. It just seems, I mean, I get that no, they're not, because they're all like the name of the company of the car. Like, so it's just, I don't know. I find it very odd.
Well, a lot of the other teams do have that, but it's just like, it's one name.
Well, that's what I mean. You're combining multiple ones. Who's another one though that has that?
Well, like Scuderia Ferrari, Mercedes, AMG, Petronas. Like Petronas is not their name. Like the company's in there, but it's a part of the title. It's not like, I like the Toronto Blue Jays. If they changed their name from the Toronto Blue Jays to the Toronto Visa Cash App Jays,
right? It's just weird. I don't know. I find it odd.
It's got to be a part of the name, not the name. So that's hilarious that the Red Bull Junior team, which technically they hate when people call it the junior team because they want it to be a contender, but whatever.
They have the money. They must have the money to at least give it its own name and then put a giant Visa sticker on the car or something. Like, I'm curious to see if the announcers, and when they talk about them, like, are they actually going to say are they actually going to call them the Visa Cash App name?
No, like, they'll shorten it. Like, it'll be Visa. And Visa, the Visa team's doing great.
Which I guess is good for Visa. Maybe
really, super smart by Visa. Like,
is it though? Like, who doesn't know what Visa is?
But that's the thing. It's just more of that. Like, when you're advertising, like, Visa probably can't believe that Red Bull was fine with this, right? Like, that's every company's dream. Like, you don't want it to be Formula One. Rolex wants it to be like Rolex Racing Sport.
Is Cash App its own company, or is that part of Visa? I don't even know.
I don't know. I tried looking, like Chris tried
Google
looking it up.
I will not.
Chris looked it up in the App Store. It's not there.
Oh, really?
Maybe it's only American. I don't know. Thing. Or it's only from Austria. Who knows?
Can you imagine it's an American only thing in F1? Like, I get that it's getting bigger, but
living the dream, man. Living the dream.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to have that come back.
Yeah. Anyway, springtime. So this week, PoE.
Yeah.
Almost nothing happened, but it's still kind of cool. Ziz's Gauntlet, you can play it. Starts this week.
Did you ask if I'm going to? Good Lord, no.
Yeah.
Nope.
I was challenged by some people in our Discord to make it past breaking the eggs.
Oh yeah. Is there? I just.
So I'm going to walk down the street naked with my middle fingers in the air, and I'm going to do it my first try. I'm going to quit.
Area 1 through 67. Monsters take 30% less damage, have 30% increased damage, have 30% increased attack, cast, and move speed, fire 2 additional projectiles, have 20% physical damage as extra chaos. Cool. and penetrate 15% of elemental. That's 1 through 67, area 1 through 6. No, that doesn't sound fun at all.
No, it doesn't. But
And it's hardcore.
I mean, come on. Mudflats, easy, right?
No.
Breaking the eggs, no prob, Bob. No prob. 30% extra movement speed. I got this.
20% physical as extra chaos when you can't get chaos resistance. Like,
yeah.
no, I mean,
it doesn't
more
sound
power to
fun,
whoever
but
wants
good
to do it. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Enjoy it.
Weirdos.
Oh, I heard it's not hardcore anymore. No, I'm joking.
Oh.
Talent competition highlights. Cool.
I saw a talent competition submission in our Discord from Manwy.
Yes.
It's a wallet. Looked really cool. A leather wallet.
Very cool. Actually, I didn't even click this link. Let's see if it's in there.
No, it's not. I saw the ones that were in that post. That's cool.
These ones look really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are. It's awesome.
Good luck to anybody that's submitting.
Mm-hmm.
Baylor Mage had the build of the week this week, which is pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. That was cool.
And they were using the specters that you were recommending to
that I
me.
talked about. Yep.
Yeah. And so that's really cool. And they were using them as their primary damage and had to come up with that fine balance of how long they stay alive versus how quickly they die.
Sure they explode,
so that they could actually get to an enemy. And
cool.
It seemed really cool. It was nice.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice having one of those necros with bone armor going strong. My kind of build. Right on. Congrats, Baylor Mage. Looked really good.
Very cool.
Let's see. Concept art or support packs. Console didn't have a patch, but they had a post in the patch area letting us know that the status of patch 23.1 is on its way, but it's not here yet. So that's exciting because that was where the flask tabs and gem tabs were fixed. Still waiting on that for console. So I've been really excited about that one. So that one, I appreciate the heads up.
That's cool. It's coming.
And then what else? There were 3
couple hot fixes
and the B patch.
Yeah, they had a hot fix where it was something about the King of the Mist is now immune to knockback. And when I was reading this one and I saw like this prevents a situation where you could be too far away from altars and the fight could no longer progress. I didn't know anything about that, but one of the things that if you find the King of the Mist in the Wildwood, but it's not his actual arena, like he's just there, and for some reason he drops a ritual vessel, which I don't really understand. The most annoying thing about that fight to me is that and it has nothing to do with this. I just in my head for some reason thought this was part of a fix to it, but it's not. He'll run towards the edge of the mist as he's doing attacks to you, and then he'll run to another edge of the mist. And as a character that needs to be close, it is so annoying because I don't even fight him because it's a waste of my wisps. I end up having to walk into the dark a little bit to try and fight him. But anyway, this didn't do anything to that, but it's one thing that's always irritated me in the Wildwood. Let me just have a minute here. In the Wildwood, the fact that they
tell us what you think,
that they add mobs as well that knock back, like they charge at you and like push you around in a zone where you have to control and manage your darkness and how much stuff you expose. I find it so silly that they would add a mob in there that like charges you from far away and just like knocks you into the dark. Anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. I mean, imagine somebody that does that in Delve. Same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right? It doesn't make any sense.
And they don't have a good animation for it. Like when you get knocked, but it's not a smooth animation or transition. It makes me so nauseous. And I highly doubt you need concussion symptoms to get nauseous from that type of
it's gross.
It is, it's not smooth at all. It's done quite poorly. I'm surprised because they are still picky. Like you hear them say lots how often they'll say something like, we could do that, or we really wanted to do this, but we couldn't find a way to do it to our standards. And sure, like we might, make fun of some of their standards sometimes, but appreciate their standards in other times. But how many times have we heard them say, that's really good, but it can't be done to our standards. The kill summary would be a perfect thing that everybody wants, but they don't do it to their standards, so it doesn't come in. They add knockback like this, and that screen jumping's to their standards. Come on.
Well, and to their standards, I mean, come on. There is a question to like, what does that mean? Because I can turn the loot filter off, and if that's where the threshold is for your standard, I think it's relatively low. It should be fine. Yeah, but I don't know. I find the knockback side of it. I saw a video of somebody playing. I forgot that because I've always had it turned off, but there's a screen shake. There must be a screen shake. I've never seen somebody play with that on. I just assumed everybody turned it off. I could not watch this person's video. I couldn't believe this person was actually playing with that on. They were doing, I don't remember what fight, some boss fight, but it was awful. The whole screen, the whole time, anytime they take like big damage or something happened, it was gross. Anyway.
My wife's been getting into Path of Exile again.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like on her own time, not just like I'm not pressuring her. Like I forget what it was, like maybe a month ago, a couple of weeks ago, for some reason she got the itch. Oh no, it was when she came on for the Wives podcast. That's right. She got back into it. She played just beforehand, right? So she'd have something to talk about. And then she just got right back into it. And she's actually been playing on her own time a lot. But she doesn't, like, you're playing, you just log in, you start playing, you figure things out. Yeah, she hasn't gone through the options menu or taken a look at anything. And I'm looking, I'm like, man, the screen's like rotating sometimes and like the screen's shaking, and like it's in cool moments in the campaign. So I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I forgot about that, because obviously I have that turned off.
Mm-hmm.
But back to the King of the Mist being immune to knockback. It's weird. Like, I get it. You got to fix it. And the dude's probably a temporary guy, so life goes on. But to all of a sudden just make knockback not a thing for your league's main boss is weird. That's like last league not allowing taunt in trials. It's weird. It's like,
I think the difference with taunt was there was like it was minimizing the fights in Toda last league. Knockback in this case, I didn't even realize that the King of the Mist becomes immune if they're too far from their altar. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Sure.
But it is a little odd. Like, why not just increase the range of the altar or so? I don't know. Like, why does that need to be a mechanic? I didn't even know it was.
It is odd to disable certain builds out of nowhere halfway through a league as a fix for something like that. Like, I get the fix needs to happen, but I don't know, like that's an odd fix for me. I get they went through their options, they made their choice, but that's got to suck. Like, people doing knockback did nothing wrong.
No, but I can't imagine you were using I can't think of a way. Like, the taunt made sense, even though I did not like a change mid league. That one made sense because you could use it to minimize the stuff. I don't know that you could do that with knockback in the league. Like, so I don't know. I'm not really sure, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, they know what they're doing, but I hate that kind of like mid league stuff. Like, to me, the taunt and knockback's the same. Like, you know ahead of time how this is going to work. Like, these are your ideas. These are things you have to plan for all the mechanics. You have a massive game, that's fine. You still got to consider it all. You know, it's their time. So, but yeah,
I don't know why they didn't, like, they made a change to ultimatum as well, where enemies that were a certain range outside of the center of the ultimatum would get sucked back into the middle every 10 seconds or something, so that they couldn't go outside of the arena and you couldn't complete it. Why not do something the same with this? If the king's too far away every 10
something
seconds,
like that,
he
like
just
teleports back to the right, something like that. Yeah, I hate chasing. Like, I was a big fan of Elden Ring because they have, like, I love Dark Souls, but you get what, like 15 bosses, right? Mm-hmm. So Elden Ring comes out and it's like 220 bosses. Who cares if some of them are copy and paste of others? Like, that's just awesome.
So fun. Yeah.
But a bunch of them were very annoying boss fights. Like, I'm super stoked for these boss fights, and then all of a sudden half the fight I'm running around. I'm chasing a dragon that's running and back and forth, or some of the teleporting ones, or, you know, like even like I shouldn't say it in case people haven't played it, but like, it's not fun. Like, just chasing, running after and like chasing, it sucks.
Run. Oh, you mother effer. Okay.
Right. The whole time, all you're doing is just holding B and sprinting, and you're like, oh, I just want to play.
Because the very first part, right before that part, the person is right on top of you the whole time. Like, you're not getting away from that person. Exactly. And then all of a sudden it's this teleporting mammal or something. And so anyway, like, you know, like, I'd rather fight and die than not fight and chase. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so, like, and some of the boss fights that I've seen for Path of Exile 2 have had some of those chasing things in it. Sure, it might be thematic for some sort of campaign thing. In that regards, I can tolerate that. I can be fine with that because they're trying to tell a story maybe through the campaign. But once mapping starts, I don't want to be chasing and chasing and chasing. Like, I don't think there's too many bosses in PoE that you do have to chase. Like, I do know what you mean, because that's why I skipped the King in the Mist in the normal part, because I hate the fact that he just teleports and moves to a different area, and then I'm wasting wisp juice. But I can't think of too many like main boss fights. Like Cyrus a little bit, but it's not chasing the whole time. You're just chasing in the between the phases.
Yeah, it's still, Cyrus is still stupid, but it's, yeah, you're right. And I don't mind teleporting as long as it's within the screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not without a tell where I'm like screwing up some sort of Val slam or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I get that, like, if that happens sometime, sure. But like, I'm excited for PoE 2 in that regards with the amount of tells that they'll have. It's like, okay, they're there. I'm going to use my Val slam. And you know what I mean? Like, I think it'll work out. But yeah, you mentioned something about the amount of times that there's like teleporting and running away and, oh yeah, going from one edge of the screen to the other edge of the screen. One edge. To me, that's never a good boss design.
No, I agree.
When you're chasing instead of fighting. Like, it doesn't matter what build you are. If you're chasing instead of fighting, your whole build's irrelevant.
Yeah.
So
I think the best example and the worst example that they have for that type of fight is the Waka Laka Nuka Haka unique map.
Oh, right.
Worst
That
boss
like
design
siren.
ever.
It's like a version of Merveille, but with auras around her.
Yeah,
and she just keeps teleporting around this massive.
It's the
cavern.
octopus style.
Yeah.
So maybe the second
then
version, but
then they
it's
have that
terrible.
like line in the middle.
Yeah.
That you can't cross.
No.
And you have
then
to keep
she's
running
got,
around
like,
it.
She slows with a frost on the ground. She's got the aura around her to not take damage, and she's got the lady's got wheels, man. Like, she just moves so freaking fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there's the other one. I guess it's a more octopusy lady, but she it's more of a fire arena with 4 squares, and then there's the levers.
Yeah, she
that you pull.
teleports. Yeah. Just kill her fast enough and then she doesn't move.
That's
but yes.
right.
That one
and
is
Justice as well, the one that's normally with Azaro. She casts that green beam at you.
Yep.
That one, I don't mind that teleporting. It's not a fun fight, but I don't get
still
pissed
too
with the
far
teleporting
because you can't see it on the screen, so you're guessing which corner did she maybe go to.
And but then quickly, like, you'll find out where the damage is coming from. Like, it is too far. I don't like the fight, but it's not too crazy with the teleporting. Like, it's a small arena, you know what I mean? So you're not, but I hate lab, so I hate those traps. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, King of the Mist. Oh yeah, and then they added, this is insane, almost 1,600 more foiled Valdo's maps.
Yeah. I wonder if some of the people that are in this next batch of Valdo's maps and other people, like, I don't know, I'm curious what people's thoughts are when they're creating these maps, because some of the first ones that came out, I was like, what? Why did you spend $500 to give me a spring leaf and risk voiding my character if I die? Like, I don't understand the reason why, but I have run some of the Valdo's maps.
And what do you think? I mean, obviously
some of them,
like,
I have to pick and choose, and and every single time, like this, it reminds me of old school ways I used to play, where as soon as I get into the map, I hit tab to open up to make sure I'm reading the modifiers, just to make sure I didn't miss players are sent to the void or something, right? I want to make sure that I'm not gonna, back in the day when you'd accidentally surprise yourself with a reflect elemental or something. And so I definitely feel like I'm focusing more on those, but I have done a lot of the ones where normally I would hate them, but my build has no problem with them. But all the enemies are porcupines, and all of the enemies slow on hit, and there's no movement skills. So
those are the best. That's the best.
Yeah, that's
me.
But I don't have any problem with that build. I don't. Oh, and you can't block, but I don't have to block. But
okay,
so like it does a lot to try and make them painful, but for my build, it works no problem. And they typically give like Watcher's Eyes, or, like the rewards are actually pretty decent for those ones.
That's hot.
Yeah. So I've done a few of those. I've sold quite a few Mage Blood ones just because I'm not going to risk voiding my character. And the ones that are not voidable are not doable from, like, I can't do the feared with the Fulcrum build. It's just not gonna happen. So I just sell those.
Do they just drop like normal maps whenever, right?
The Valdo box drops randomly, and then you open it, and that's when you find out what the map is. Cool. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen one yet.
They're considered currency though too, so they can sometimes get duplicated by like a currency altar or something like that.
That's funny.
So
the porcupines ended up being a big unintentional subject of my post that I did in the PoE 2 Reddit a long time ago about like on death effects and clarity and all that kind of stuff. And for some reason, somebody commented, like, when people think on death effects, a lot of the times people think porcupines, but they're like, they do so little damage, had nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? It was like all the other ones that really drive me nuts, the stuff you can't see. But Yeah, I enjoy the porcupines because you don't need a lot of physical damage mitigation to ignore those, but it still feels cool when you see all the explosions happening, and sounds nice.
Normally
Like,
those
that's
are
what
my least favorite.
really, because
Yeah.
to me that's what, if you were to have insist on having on death damage, that's what I would have it at. Something small but easily mitigated.
Yeah,
Like,
but when there's lots of them, that something small can kill you in a flash.
I haven't cared about them in leagues and leagues and leagues, so it's interesting.
I should give you one of those ones to run and see what you think of it, because it's
Sure.
I mean, what's funny is just how slow it makes you, because they inflict something on hit, and of course they're hitting you like a gabillion times, so you're not running through them by any means. Like, you're just like,
Oh, what is it, like
crawling
vulnerability or
towards
something?
them. No, it's like hinder. So I don't remember what it is, but they inflict some particular ailment or something on hit. I can't remember exactly what it is, but there was one other modifier to it as well. I can't remember. There was one there was one version that I ran where I actually ran into an issue because I couldn't get ignited. And I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, you couldn't consume corpses. That was another thing that had rolled on this particular map. And if I can't consume the corpse, then I don't get my first hit of ignite. So I had to just use penance brand through the map. It just took a little longer, but
no. Crazy. So just to remind myself, I looked up the price of the Valdo's puzzle box support pack, and that's the $480
yeah, that's
pack.
the highest one. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. And that's Americano, by the way, American. $480 American. Good for you, for whoever it was. Now, you can choose to get either the physical goods or 800 points. That's $80 American.
Yeah, I've always taken the physical goods.
Yeah. At $80 though. That might take the
A
points.
lot of times the stuff they have is the physical stuff, though, you can't buy.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Right, so
yeah,
800 points to just get eaten up by something silly. So I'd rather take the physical stuff, which
yeah.
I mean, is
well, you're a
silly
mystery
too, 'cause
box
it sits in
guy,
my-
so I see that.
I haven't bought a mystery box in a long time. Yep. In fact,
Cool.
I haven't really bought points until I had to buy points for the private league. Like,
Gotcha.
to get points to get the private league bumped up. I haven't, which I haven't actually checked, but yeah.
I guess you could always buy those points early, since we know what we're doing, right?
Yeah, I just don't usually think about it. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh crap, we're out of space.
Right.
Anyway, our private league is going. So if you're wanting to play, it starts on, when does it start? February 16th.
Yeah, sorry, not going. Like, it's ready to go. You can apply for it, get in, and we'll make as much spaces as needed.
Yeah, we'll fit as many people as need. So find the link where it's on our Discord. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's hardcore solo self-found Affliction. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So,
oh, we need to make an event page for it. I forgot.
Sweet. All right, cool. So that's what did you do this week in PoE?
Well, I've been sick and I have had very little energy, so I've tried to go to bed as early as possible since I got sick again. But my so the pros and cons for those that play like me and they like the same builds and they just want to like keep doing that fun build idea, like for me, zombies or Reaper or whatever, right? The same couple builds. It's a lot of fun. You know, it's a lot less theory crafting at the beginning of the league. You get to get going pretty quick and you really learn like those mechanics in and out, but it's also a lot more brainless to play.
Okay.
So, you know, when like your kids are sick and they're coughing like crazy, but then you turn on the TV and you don't hear a cough until the movie's done, you know, like the brain like distracts from how all that stuff. Right. So, same thing with, of course, with me and everyone else. So, but when I'm playing a build that's brainless, I'm not focused. Right. So like I'll be playing PoE and I'll be hacking up a storm, coughing, right? Like back when my voice was irritated with laryngitis, back with this one. So I'm playing and like my build, I know it and it's good, but I'm not having to think at all in my maps or about my build. It's very brainless and great and I love it, but I'm coughing and I'm keeping my wife up, who now has to get up at around 3 a.m. for her job. So I'm like, crap. So this week I caught up on more shows and movies, things where like my brain would actually be
paying
used
attention.
And yeah, and I'm not coughing. And then, you know, you get to the point where it's like you're falling asleep and you can't finish the movie. Then it's like, you know, I went through the whole evening almost not coughing, which is great because I'm not keeping my wife up. And so it was a lot of that. But as a result, I squeaked in some PoE time throughout the week, like while the kids are at school instead of doing chores. Yeah, it's just fun, man. I'm having a good time. Just Alk and Go, and you know how I play on standard. I don't use legacy stuff, but I'm on standard.
Is that
So
what
I-
you've been
you
playing
know-
this week? Not the league?
Correct, yes. And I hit 93 for the first time ever, which is nice.
Mhm.
And
Tyler's
just been
brain
a lot
just
of fun.
exploded.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, you guys won't hear that, but my brain just went to zilch. But you know, it's like I try and make my Atlas passive tree for both league, like when I play on PC, the temporary league, and then on console and standard. But like if I'm doing something around master missions, I don't have to care on standard because I have like 700 Ironheart missions because they just add up one at a time, and
Mhm.
I don't care about the other ones, like Delve, or I definitely hate Incursion. And then Jun, I have everything unlocked already, and so and with Delve and Incursion, I naturally get those because I have those completion notables on the
Yeah.
Atlas passive tree, so I just naturally get them anyway. So I always just do Ironheart, and don't know why he doesn't drop anything. And I'm at the point where my menagerie is just full with all really rare beasts. So like the master missions aren't really, unless you like Delve, they suck for standard. You know
I
what I
think
mean?
that's why, another reason why I'm not a huge fan of standard, because I think I would get to that point pretty quick too. Like where
Yeah.
it's not necessary to do anymore.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, Incursion would probably have the best benefit long term because you can actually do stuff to your gear long term. But yeah, I hear you. Like for me, like, you know, like let's say you do play standard, but then you take a month off or whatever. Well, those standard numbers are still counting, right? You still get those one daily missions a day. So like I'm at 700.
Mhm.
And so that's why I kind of like the random master missions, and I have no problem disabling the master missions when I play. But I had a good time. I was just alking and going and doing the Maven invitations, and it's a lot of fun. It's nice. It sucks when the T16 maps have bosses that are really dumb, because those are the bosses I typically like. Eventually, every map is going to be a T16, but with the original ones, like the 4 that you're kind of fighting around are the T16s. They have crappy bosses. The stagnation boss is a boss that I don't like doing in the Maven invitations because it has that, like you fight it in like a kind of like a mud puddle arena. I
white
don't know if you
beam.
remember it.
To the one with the white beam.
No.
Oh,
And it's this guy, he just has a big staff. He's just a big mud puddle, but he has this
oh
meteor
yes, I know what you're talking
strike
about.
that comes from out of nowhere and smashes the ground. And if you're in a one-on-one fight and there's nothing else around you, you can see that tell. You can tell when that meteor strike is coming. But if you're a minion player, you can't. And so I hate that fight because especially if you add that meteor strike into a fight where there's 10 bosses, like I'm not going to see that. And it's a really strong hit. So, you know, I'm pretty picky with what I put in there, but there's only like 2 or 3 bosses I can't stand that just have that like surprise damage type of thing. So it was fun. I enjoy the Maven invitations and just going through, having a good time, waiting for awakened gems that never drop. Yeah. How about you? Did you play this week?
Yeah, I did. The start of the week actually had Josh and I decided to try seeing if we could play 2 builds that were made to play together for magic finding. So like we did some looking up online, trying to figure it out. Some Hippo or Hiplo or Haplo, I don't remember the name of this person that does YouTube videos about specifically around like group play and magic finding and stuff. Tried to watch the videos that they had that Josh had told me about, and we tried to figure out some builds. So then we leveled up 2 builds. He wanted to play the Orobot. I was like, okay, fine, I'll play this Inquisitor Spark magic find carry thing. So anyway, we leveled them up, got them. I think I spent like 350 divines between our 2 builds, buying all the stuff for the
You
2
bought
of
both?
us. Yeah, he's like, he didn't tell me till we were like 94. He's like, yeah, I'm kind of broke. I'm like, all right, I'll start
Way to plan
buying
ahead.
stuff.
That's like having no
Right.
money for gas on a road trip.
Yep. So, but we got them all geared up, and it was awful. It did not go well at all.
Why?
Like, I mean, I think the honest truth is that we both don't fully understand it. And so the struggle for
builds, you
me
mean?
was, yeah, like how because they're so interconnected in the sense that you can't play one without the other, like the way that they feed off of each other. And like Josh had a build guide that he was following, but he also doesn't fully understand why he's doing what he's doing. So I'm trying to understand his character and my character and how they work properly. And it just was too much to think about. And what I did find is that when we did tier 16 maps, if we did just a normal alked tier 16 map, no problem, easy, we'd get through it fine. But as soon as you got into the wildwood stuff and started buffing up these monsters, it became not killable, not fun. And I think one of the reasons I've stuck around so long with this league is because my chieftain build almost never dies, and not dying makes the game a lot more fun.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah,
no matter how long it takes, if you can handle the content, it's fun.
Yeah, and especially with it, it's not a super active play style. I don't have to be constantly clicking. I don't have any buttons. I have no buttons at all. I click one button to jump around. That's it. Like to move fast. Like that's it. I don't press anything, and I like that. It's a
Agreed.
very chill way of playing the game, and I can buff it up super high, and I can do the magic find with it. And so it's been a ton of fun. So anyway, we did that. It did not last long before I was like, just give me the stuff. I'm going to sell it. Let's go back to our other builds, because even he was struggling too, and I was like, I'm not wanting to play. Like it's not fun. It was a cool idea for us to try it, but I was like, this is going to kill me. I'm not going to want to play this game. And he was feeling the same way. So I switched back. He was playing another build. I wasn't playing with him too much this week, but I did. I was doing maps. I'm going through T16s, trying out, figure out whether I like jungle, whether I like burial grounds, what kind of stuff do I want to roll on maps. I'm still rolling everything myself, which has been super fun. It's funny when I was like struggling to like, okay, I got to make sure I make enough sextants in between the maps. I think I have like 4,000 awakened sextants now. So rolling my sextants now is very easy. But I started doing ultimatums when they would show up in the map. I wasn't doing anything to push ultimatums, but of course they have like whatever the standard 8% chances, right, of showing up inside of a map. And with my build, I don't have to do anything. As long as I don't pick modifiers that add ruin or something that would just end it, I just stand in the middle. I don't have to do anything. The mobs will come in towards me and then they blow up and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, well, I may as well see what the rewards are like. So I'm in this map, I'm doing the ultimatum, and I did it. I did it last, like it was the last thing that I did just because I cleared the map, everything was done. I'm like, oh, I'll go do this ultimatum. So I don't remember what phase or what round it was. I want to say it was 8 or 9. It didn't feel like it was the last round. When I hit the button, all of a sudden I was in an arena. I've never seen the Trial Master ever before. So all of a sudden I'm in the arena and I'm fighting the Trial Master, and I'm like, oh,
that's cool.
This is cool. I've never seen this before. So I'm assuming I'm probably going to die just because I've not done it before. I have a build that is not meant for bossing whatsoever. Yeah. So sit there for a minute, trying to figure out his moves, trying to figure out what he's doing. He's triple empowered, like whatever the Wildwood gives. And
what can go wrong?
So I'm trying to figure out what he does. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Very, very, very quickly realized I can't do anything and he can't kill me. And there is no way to get out of the arena. Once you're in there, you're in there. Your only way out is to close the game. And if you close the game, you'll lose the ultimatum, which means you'll lose all of the other things you built up to that point.
And you can kill him because he's empowered, triple empowered,
he's
and
super
you have
empowered.
low boss damage, right?
Well, the only way I'm doing damage is when they hit me.
Yeah.
And that, they hit me, it stuns me. I create a corpse, I desecrate, and then I detonate the corpse, which then causes me to get a ignite on myself, and then my ignite is then burning down the enemy. Well, typically the damage comes from a mob around me with it, my 9% chance to explodes, which does huge damage, which that ignite then gets reflected onto me, and now I've got a huge ignite where it's my RF. I just run around and that ignite is spreading to the enemies around me, and it's very, very high because ignite always keeps your highest. Like you don't get multiple things of it. It's just the highest one that's been dealt. So
for 2 seconds, yeah.
So but you can increase increased duration on ignite. But so for me, I'm like, okay, well, let's just see how this goes. So I sit still. Now the good thing with his fight is he's always on top of you, or like within range that the ignite is touching him. But I didn't want to just quit because I was like, well, I've never seen the Trial Master before. Like I kind of want to do it, and I don't want to lose out on some of the catalysts that I had already earned in the leveling up. So I went and worked and watched YouTube and did other things and came back. It took about 50 minutes. I just left my game running.
5-0.
5-0.
Wow.
Yeah. And I eventually did kill him. And then
congratulations, Justin, on your sweet moves.
I got 15 tainted catalysts out of it, which was pretty sweet. I don't know that I use them, but while I was doing it at the beginning of it, I was talking with some people in 2121, which I have to give a huge shout out to the people who hang out in that global as well. It's been really fun chatting with people on there. And I saw people the other day when I hadn't even said anything, like I hadn't been talking, but I was just reading people talk about how much they appreciate the community and how helpful it is. And so just a big shout out to everybody who hangs out in Discord and on 2121. But so I was talking about this fight and somebody had mentioned in there, and I didn't realize it was Sid because I don't know names of characters to people on Discord. Like I don't know how to keep track of them, but he had mentioned this idea of using Penance Brand of Dissipation on a 6-link on a weapon swap when you're up against like a boss. So I put it into build help, and so then he helped me figure out what to put together. So I did that for subsequent, like mapping and stuff yesterday and the day before. It works, but it's not great. It's still like very slow, but at least it's damage versus a 50-minute stand there and wait for the Trial Master to just kill himself. But it was cool. I got to see the Trial Master. I never saw Trial Master during Ultimatum League.
Do you think it would be a fun fight if you weren't like an AFK style build? Like, do you like his moves? Were you paying attention to that at the beginning?
His moves are cool. I think the thing that's scary with an Ultimatum fight when you fight the Trial Master is there's no guarantee you're going to get the Trial Master, and all of the modifiers that you pick leading up to the Trial Master apparently carry into his arena.
Oh, like the skulls and
the blowing up cold things, the bloods, the the ruin thing that can chase you around. So I'm not really sure if people adjust for that when they're doing it. Like, I have no idea how hard those different things hit, like how hard his skills would be to. They didn't seem super difficult to avoid, but I have no idea how hard they actually would hit. So the problem for me is Ultimatum's just not worthwhile. Like, I'm doing it just for fun, just to see what shows up at the end. But those mobs in Ultimatum don't get the Wildwood. So maybe he actually wasn't empowered now that I'm thinking about it. I'd have to, I wish I could remember. The mobs themselves that spawn during the Ultimatum never have the Wildwood buffs on them. I'm not really sure why.
Because in strong boxes they do.
They do everything else. I've been trying to see with Ultimatums, maybe they're dying too fast, but I try to quickly mouse over them, and I've never seen one with a Wildwood empowered modifier on it. So, but yeah, you know what? The character's been super fun. I've still been doing Abyss. I've been trying different things to, I've been doing a lot of Einhar because you can get so many red beasts and like rare monsters on your map with it. And so
why do you care about that? Because you're not doing any beast crafting
with Wildwood. No, I don't care about the beast crafting. It's just the more rares I can get on the map, the more loot I'm going to get, and the bigger chance for conversions. I had the mirror drop last week, so I'm at least done there.
Yeah, there you go, man.
And I have so much divine that I don't have to worry about, like, because when we were trying to buy this stuff, well, Josh was like, well, you have a mirror. I'm like, I'm not selling that mirror.
That's right.
You're getting chaos gear if I can't buy stuff with divine. So, but I'm back to the point where I have so much currency now, so that mirror's safe. It's never going anywhere. It's just sitting there in the stash.
That's cool.
But yeah, it was a good week. Like, I had a good time playing. I'm still like a little bit frustrated with the state of their. It's not lag. I don't know what it is, but there's something in their game that just cannot handle sometimes when you put too much of their own stuff into the game, and that it gets really frustrating. Like,
are you talking too many mechanics or too much loot?
Too much loot, too much mobs. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the combination is. I've tried. People have given me some tips on Discord. I've watched some people's videos. I've heard people say that, the Spire, if it stays up. I've tried all these different things. It is not consistent. It makes zero sense, and sometimes I'm just I'm staring at a screen that is not really doing much. And then sometimes like you get to the point where you can't weapon swap, you can't open your inventory and move stuff around. And then when you click, all of a sudden your character like just jerks and goes and just shoots all over the place. And then you're in a new spot. Like
it's like flicker strike for everybody.
Yeah, it actually annoyed me a little bit when I watched the build of the day video, because it was really good. But when what's his name? Eben, when he talks about the strength of the build,
right?
You know, no matter what, and he actually says or lag, and I was like, that bugs me. Like, I don't want to feel like, I mean, I'm not going to die. My build isn't going to die, which is fine. But it does get a little bit frustrating when you can't figure out. I've dumbed down all of their settings. I've changed all these different things on NVIDIA. I've never had this issue with their game to this degree. And
but it's not just you.
No, I know. I've tried finding stuff online, and I know people have been talking about it in Discord, but it just gets when I can't figure out what's causing it. And I'm like, I feel like they should be set up that if you take the craziest, and I have no MTX, if you take the craziest version of what they create, they should be able to take the very craziest of the crazies they create, put them all together, and the game still run fine. And if it doesn't, then you need to alter something based on that.
Sure. Do you think that this is them testing? Like this is like a load test league for them? There's no way they didn't see the outcomes coming. Like maybe not like what their system would do about it, but there's no way they didn't see this amount of loot coming their way, right? Do you think that maybe they're, maybe testing the community, but testing their systems, seeing what their limits need to be as they're trying to balance PoE2 decision making?
It's possible. I do feel sometimes, and it's not trying to just be a dick about it, but I do feel sometimes like they've just given up on loot, like on trying to find a solution to loot.
Dude,
like
you're talking about the most critical. You're talking to the person who criticizes them the most for loot about anything. Like me and that default filter.
Yeah,
you're not talking to the wrong person about this, man.
Yeah, I mean, even outside of like, I can't believe how restrictive I've gotten my filter to, and that's just because the loot, there's so much, and I have the currency so I can drop it down. But the fact that at this point in this league, this is definitely the very first time ever for me, because I never did like the crazy 100% delirious Crimson Temple like the crazy stuff that people with a lot of currency and a lot of time were doing in previous leagues. I think this is to the same degree, but I've never ever been at a point in a game in Path of Exile where if I know if I even just accidentally tap Alt, my game's going to crash. And my computer is a beast. And the fact that there are times where if I just bump it, my game is crashed. I will not be able to, I'll just got to wait till it crashes and then I'll go back in there. So,
and what do they do about it? I don't think there's anything they can do about it except not make this explosion core. Like you got to wait till the league is done and then just not do it again.
I noticed in the build of the week video that he said very specifically, talking about the primalist tree that you can do in this league. Like, I really love the 3 new ascendancies, and I would really like to see them go core because I think they add a lot of fun to the building, like the planning of your build. I do think it's a bit strong, so I'm curious if it does go core, if they have to kind of dumb it down a little bit. But the Wildwood affecting the maps has been a ton of fun because it did give you this crazy juice, but I do not see it going core. I do not see it going core ever. No, never. It's way too strong.
It would be, it's like Sentinel on steroids.
Yeah, it's like Sentinel really and Harvest combined. Like there's too much. I think the problem is, maybe that's not actually totally true, because the thing is Affliction doesn't necessarily make you stronger. It just gives you the potential for more stuff. Whereas Harvest and Sentinel made you stronger. So it is kind of a little bit different.
Sentinel gave you the option of which one. Harvest was just pure crafting. It was a gear. Harvest was all about gear. Yeah. And the thing that's crazy about this though is like you make this core, then you make the Wildwood the most important part about mapping, and that's not what they want to do. It would be crazy if they even considered to make this core. Not saying it's not a good league. Like, it's a great league. Looting. It just doesn't match. Like, you will change the entire core experience if you add the Wildwood to the game.
I love Affliction. I love doing the Wildwood, but I also will be very happy to not do it again. And that's mainly because at this point, if it's a bad wildwood, I just don't do the map. And on most maps, I'm spending 2 to 3 divines per map that I'm running. And I'm at the point where I'm walking away from that because the wildwood affects the map so much that it becomes not worth doing. But it also causes frustration for me. Like if I go through 2 or 3 wildwoods in a row that are just terrible, and they're terrible because I know what I want. It was so different at the beginning of the league where you're like, oh my God, I got 500 of each, or oh, I found this, whatever. It was cool in the beginning. Now it's like, oh, if I have less than 6,000, this is, and not at least 2 different colors. Like I know that I'm not going to see the value that I could if I just run another map. So I'll be happy to see it go because I do feel like that's how I'm playing. Although I do like it. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's basically, with the exception of the rewards being too much because it crashes the game. Well, and I guess it's probably just too much in general. It's what you would call like a perfect league. It's really awesome to play for now, but it would be too much going forward.
Yeah, there's so, I mean, I would love to see the ascendancies somehow stick around. I think they'll cut them out though.
Yeah,
I think we'll see the ascendancies go away.
Those are cool ideas for PoE 2. They're going to help them make new ascendancies. 36 ascendancies, man. Like,
yeah, you can't add 3 sub ascendancies a year before you have a game that's bringing 36 new ones out.
Yeah, it's like, just what are some of the cool ideas we can come up with for some of these ascendancies? So
yeah,
that's what I think. That's cool though. Yeah, I'm glad you're having such a good time. I don't remember the last time you've ever played a league this long.
No, I've had people even saying that to me in Global 21. Like, I can't believe you're still playing 21, sorry. I have just had fun. I can feel it waning. Like I can feel myself, like I was actually talking to Josh a couple nights ago that it is weird to be playing this long and this close to a private league coming up. Like I normally have like a month before our private league just so I can not be drained.
And our private league's normally not this late into a league. We're normally playing it now.
Yeah. So it has been a very fun league in the sense that it's kept me playing. I think not dying has made a huge difference. Like playing a build where I don't have to be worried about dying. I might not clear the map as fast as whatever. I think it is one of the strongest builds I've seen before with this type of content, right? Because the fact is, like a chieftain with the fulcrum, that build only works if you're in something very, very juiced. If you go and do something that's a little bit simpler, it's awful. Yeah, it's not a fun experience because it's so slow. You need a lot of mobs.
Yeah, it's the essence of a trigger build. You need to, like, the juicier the better. If they hit like wet noodles,
you're done.
Your build sucks. Yeah. I hear you. I can't tell you how many trigger builds I've like just minion based and this and that and trying to like, man, could you do this? Could I do this? Could I, like, all the triggering ideas? And it just needs to be like, you just need to be hit all the time. Just smash me, punch me in the face, keep it going. Yeah. Like what's her name? Cheryl or Carol from Archer. You just need that fetish. That's what a trigger build is. Right. That fetish of getting choked and slapped.
Yeah. So it's been a good league. I have had a lot of fun, and I've tried different things this league that I haven't before. The third character, I think I only got to 96 or 97 before we gave up.
That's it. What a loser.
Yeah, that takes like nothing now, but it's fun. I'm surprised too. Like, it has been a very fun league for me to play. Good. And I think it's because I haven't had to really rely on trade in the sense of getting the stuff for me to do what I want to do. And I've also never had currency like this where I'm like, oh, like I
don't think anybody has.
No, I've never paid divines for scarabs. Like, that's bananas. Like, running 4 winged scarabs per map I've never ever done anything like that before. I've never put that type of currency into an individual map. So, and then in some cases just been like, no, I don't want to run this one. It's going to be terrible. Go do the next one. So it's just been fun. It's been a different experience for me for how I play. And I think the build has had a huge part of that because I don't have to worry so much about dying. Like, it just makes it much more chill to play. So I'm not sure how the private league's going to go. I feel like I'm going to not be able to make it past like level 12 just because I'm not going to be in the mindset of like, hit a flask.
Right. Yeah. It is a big difference. It's tough to go from like a very defensive softcore character, and then you all of a sudden you're in the flats again. And you're like, running around. And
it's like, what was it? It was Sanctum. We used to joke about the idea, like when you would go into a Sanctum and then come out of a Sanctum, they're 2 totally different types of playing the game that it's very hard to shift. I think that's going to be me in our private league. That's why we changed the rules this time to be based on the highest, because I have a very good feeling that Tyler's going to beat me in this private league. Because
I think that would be hilarious. I don't think it'll happen, but I appreciate the encouragement nonetheless.
Yeah, unless I can find some type. I haven't even thought about what I'm going to play yet. But unless I can, I want my build that I have right now. I don't want to press any buttons, and I just want to move around and stuff dies. And I don't know how to pull that off at level 2 in hardcore solo self. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's been a good week.
I'm glad to hear it, man. I'm glad to hear it. Tonight for After Dark. So I'm still going through the YouTube. Like, I think, who is it? Is it Ziz that's coming out with another PoE 2 interview this week?
Really?
I'm still too behind. I'm still on the DM and Gazi one. But I think I have like half an hour left in that one, and then I have the 2 hours of the Ziggy D.
Are you watching this because you're interested in like what their responses are? Or?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
There's a lot more permanent answers than you would expect. Like, I know a lot of people are very interested in gameplay specific things, and that can change quite quickly. But there's a lot that they're answering that you can't change. You know what I mean? Like, there's like, well, they're talking about like the idea behind, well, I'm going to give you two, and we can talk about this tonight because they're two things that you're very passionate about, but things about like how the idea behind loot and the mentality and the decisions and the goals that they're trying to achieve. Like, I like those answers because the goals, irrelevant of what actually happens, you're hearing what their intent is, what they don't like about PoE 1, what they're hoping PoE 2 is like. And those answers interest me. Whether they're executed properly or not is, I mean, Path of Exile 1's the resume there, but hoping for the best. But the two things that they've just finished talking about in the Gazi DM one is, and Gazi brought these up, great questions. The amount of crap mods that exist on items currently, like the amount of mods that can roll that like you just don't care for. And they've gone through and rebalanced and done a whole bunch of stuff. Like, for example, like weapons are only like damage stuff, and they're going to have much smaller core pools. Like, there'll be, like other pools that can draw from, like, like in today's game, whether it's influenced or not and stuff like that. But the core pools are going to be very small, and it's all going to be like damage. So you're not going to like roll resists or anything like that in your weapons, which is nice. They're going to have like one or two, intentionally only one, maybe two like crap mods, like light radius or something like that. But then he also brought up the exact thing that you and I both hate substantially, which is rolling +3 life on an item level 86 item. And they said we're going to talk about that in the future. We're not going to talk about it today, but let me just say that I agree with you, and it's being dealt with. So some of those things
we'll
are
talk about it in After Dark.
Yes, we will. But those are the kind of answers that I get excited for, because irrelevant to the implication, you hear. It's
not irrelevant to that, though. It is relatively relevant. Like, well, they can say whatever. Like, we've heard. Sorry, I don't want to get into it. I didn't mean to take this away from you. So yeah, we'll talk about it in After Dark. But sure. Go ahead, continue.
No, it's just I like hearing their mentality. Yes, obviously, I want it to be implemented the way we want, but the mentality of which they basically agree with us on Path of Exile 1 is worth listening to all the talk.
Cool. All right, sweet. Well, let's chat about that in After Dark. Let's. I do have to run to a meeting pretty soon, so we're gonna have to wrap this one up. It's a little early. We gotta give Tyler his time to rest, get his voice a little better for After Dark, and then hopefully all back to normal next week. It's so much nicer not having you whisper, though. I gotta say.
Oh, I'm
so
sure.
Less creepy. I don't feel dirty.
That's right. And I have to say, big kudos to you for editing my whispering voice.
It turned out fine. I thought they were fine.
Like, I agree with people that like don't like hearing whispers for an hour straight. Like, I'm the same way, but when I listen to them, I think you did a great job with it. So
I thought they turned out fine. Let's wrap this up. Forever Exiled, episode 225. I'm Justin, aka Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
Patrons, we will catch you in After Dark. Everybody else will see you next week in 226. Don't forget to hop on Discord if you want to join the private league. It starts on the 16th. Don't forget to hit that 5-star button on Spotify and Apple Podcast. And if you're looking for more information, you can find down below. We got a website, foreverexiled.com. We're on Twitter, foreverexiled82. We have a very fun Discord. Pop in there and say hi. And Patrons are the way to support the podcast. You'll find them down below, as well as the website, as previously mentioned. Goodbye.
Hey, I just noticed we're like Binsies twinsies. We're both wearing green and rad.
So cute.
It is cute. We should make out about it.